Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. It is, yes, it is indeed Playtest Eve. So the playtest will be going live for Patreon members tomorrow. And I think what I'll try to do is I'll try to get that playtest out before the stream tomorrow. So that way, well, we'll see. We'll see what time tomorrow it comes out. I guess it's not super important to deal with right now, but it's coming out tomorrow at some point. And so yeah, that's for Patreon members. And so I guess I'm going to do this in the wrong order, but so that's for active Patreon subscribers. So if you're a subscriber to Patreon right now, you will get access to the playtest tomorrow for 1 week, and then the playtest will be open for the general public after that, so anyone who wants to try it. So there's no need to pay for anything, but if you do subscribe as a Patreon sponsor, for example, for at least 1 month, you will get an Alchemortis Steam key sent to you. So this is acting like a pre-purchase. So not only will this get you into the playtest this time around, but you will also get a Steam key for the game when the game launches, and your name will be included in the credits. So definitely check that out. You also get some other perks like unlimited course access, all that good stuff. And I also have the Udemy courses available for sale, so you can purchase these individually if you want. These are a huge help to me. This is helping to pay the bills while I'm trying to get Alchemortis finished. And of course, you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam. When the playtest goes public, so let me back up. For the Patreon members, I'm going to send you a Steam key for the playtest to the email address that you use for Patreon. So I'll send you a Steam key to your inbox. That Steam key can be used to grant you access to the playtest. But then when the playtest goes public, you'll be able to join the playtest from the Steam page. You'll be able to you go down here and just click the Join Playtest button. So yeah, so that's how it's going to work. And again, I'll be revoking all of the keys for the playtest after the playtest period is over. So don't be alarmed if all of a sudden it says, I've revoked your access. That's just how the normal process is going to go. If you're still a Patreon member by the time the next playtest rolls around, I'll send you a new key. So you don't need to worry about that. And the keys that I'm sending you are not for the full game. That will be a different key that you'll get when the game is actually ready to release. So yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. Let's see. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Good to see you. Happy Playtest Eve. Yep. Hello, Jahar. Good morning, Chris. By the way, I did forget to update in the Discord that I resolved the area 3D clicking, but not in a way that I can stop the event from propagating because the event phases like you said. Oh, interesting. How did you resolve it? Hello, Kazori. It's time for Game Dev once again. It is. Welcome, Jackie Daytona. Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Good morning, Emerson. Good morning. So I thought it would be fun to start off today by adding some more legendary abilities. So legendary abilities come with the legendary outputs for alchemy. But as of right now, I think I only have 2 legendary abilities, which is kind of lame. So if we can get to like 4 or 5 legendary abilities, at least for this playtest, I think that would be good. So the unfortunate thing is I have no idea what legendary abilities could be though. So one legendary ability we have is that fire applied increases by 1 permanently each time this ability is executed. And then another legendary ability is it has copies heal abilities of all allied cards. And I can actually probably do this. Query target provider dot to query string. I think I can do that. Okay. So I might want to see what that's doing. Abilities, run manager, populate player cards. Pack cards on board, starting cards, 0 dot add composed abilities, legendary abilities dot abilities 1. Excuse you, why is this not working? Oh, this needs to be an array, and this needs to be dot duplicate. Goodness gracious. I need to get rid of this 4 card here. I'm going to find a different way to duplicate this. Get rid of 4 card and ability duplication. That's just going to cause problems forever and ever, so I'm going to get rid of that. But anyway, let's see what happens. I moved the bind to the input from the window to the input event of the full rect over the view. Oh, interesting. Okay. McDouble probably needs to be a legendary. Welcome, Cody. Yeah, you're so funny. You're so funny. Copy seal abilities of allied cards. Perfect. Okay, that works. That works. All right, so we need some ideas for legendary abilities. So yeah, any legendary abilities that anyone has ideas for? Can we get the run seed on the screen if it's not too complicated to do? Yeah, sure, we could work on that. I wonder if that would be easy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to support supplying a run seed. So maybe I don't want to do that, because I could put the seed on the screen, but if I don't have a way of supplying the seed, then it would be kind of useless, you know? So I think that will be something to do for next playtest. Allow sharing seeds. But yeah, eventually, yes, the seed will be on the screen somewhere. Hello, Dev Splat. Welcome back to the stream. It's been a while. Hello, Shirley. I know where this $10 is going to go. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. Yep, that's going to my McDonald's fund. Thank you, Shirley. For everyone that doesn't know, Shirley is my wife. She is very gracious, donating to my McDonald's fund, encouraging my bad eating habits. Thank you, thank you. What are the criteria you need for legendary abilities? It's just the legendary output. So when cards turn into legendaries from the alchemy process, they get a random legendary ability added. So they just need to be powerful. Powerful abilities, that's it. Yeah. So powerful abilities. Interesting. What are we going to do? Well, we have a fire one, we have a heal one. Well, let's maybe do like a poison one. What could be a powerful poison ability? Let's see. Powerful poison ability. Poison is already powerful, but when I think of legendary, it's something like the perfect effect for that specific card. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to get to that level of specificity. Yeah, I don't know. So legendary ability could be repurposed, but a guaranteed min-max. Yeah, I think, well, there's a couple of things. So I think the legendary, hello, Ben, by the way, and good morning, Arn Genesis. I think the legendary abilities are like additional outputs for the alchemy, the legendary alchemy. And then I have the Alkahest. The Alkahest allows you to strip a legendary status from a card, which then makes that legendary ability alchemizable onto other cards. And the other thing that I was thinking about doing is having a kind of reagent that can extract an ability or abilities from a card and like store that ability, so then you could take that specific ability and put it on a new card. So I think that I want to enable players to like distill that legendary ability down in a way that they can then put it on a different card. I honestly think I might change the alchemy system even more than I've already done. I think I want to make it less random and a lot more guided, more like crafting oriented rather than RNG slot machine oriented. And with the reagents, that should be doable. But we'll see how you all like the playtest. But yeah, I think maybe going away from the randomness and moving more towards it's like a crafting thing might be the way to go. Because then you can save up your reagents and then figure out how to like finagle the alchemy system to like distill down the abilities that you want. So yeah. The only problem with that though is I think I would need to probably make reagents a little bit more common in some way. But anyway, we don't have to worry about that right now. Call it ability essence, yeah. I mean, it's basically like No Rest for the Wicked just came out with an update where they have one of the new embers allows you to do that. You could take an enchantment out of an item and put it on the ember, and then you could take that ember and put it on an item with that enchantment. Could the legendary double the amount of poison stacks currently on each enemy? It could do that, yeah. Hello, Neozoid. Always good to see you, son of a bee. Yeah. Sounds like scope creep to me, though. Yeah, well, I think as far as the alchemy system goes, like that's basically the core of the game, and so whatever needs to be done to make sure that that alchemy system is as good and as engaging as it can be is worth the effort. So yeah, we'll have to see. But anyway, as far as poison. Yeah, let's see. Could legendary double the amount of poison stacks currently on each enemy? We could do that. The thing that I don't really like about those kinds of abilities is that they're very timing sensitive. So you could end up in a situation where the ability executes, but there's no current poison stacks, and so it doesn't do anything. And then you could end up with a timing issue where like, oh, you know, the enemy has 10 poison stacks on them. It would be great if this card would execute, but it's still got like 3 turns remaining. And by the time the card goes, there's no more poison. So it's like the timing becomes really weird. But I think there's a different thing to do here, which is kind of related. Let's see, var true. I'm gonna kind of modify it a little bit, and by a little bit I mean it's gonna be kind of different, But I'm going to make it deal true damage based on the poison damage dealt. So var poison damage dealt is equal to new damage taken provider, or damage. Do I have a damage dealt? Damage taken provider. Why do I not have a damage dealt provider? I don't understand that. Card damage dealt provider. I don't have a damage dealt provider? Interesting. Hard damage dealt, execution count, combat victory, random chance. Yeah, I have damage taken provider. Okay, I guess we have to do a damage dealt provider now. Can I create a new file here? Create new file, damage dealt provider. Damage dealt provider. Damage type. Get damage taken, sensibility execution. This would be the target board. Target board. Get damage dealt, sensibility execution to board, yeah. Damage type, okay. I think that works. This is basically the same exact thing as a damage taken provider, so maybe I should have merged those into one class, but that's all right. Damage taken, or damage dealt provider. Damage type dot Poisson. Count instances as false. So we've got the poison damage dealt. Return ability builder dot ability configuration. No, this has to be new. Okay, abilities is equal to poison damage dealt. Okay, and we'll worry about this in a second. Okay, poison damage dealt. Var dynamic damage is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability. Poison damage dealt. New true. New damage. I think this can be ignore preserve. Yeah, so let's do damage is. Oh, we could just do 0 here. Target self. False. Ignore preserve. True. Okay. And then we put the dynamic damage there. Okay, so this is going to be deals true damage equal to poison damage dealt since last execution. I think that's right. Damage dealt provider. Get damage taken since ability execution, yeah. Is that right? Get damage taken. I think that's right. Okay, so there's my true damage, true damage. All right, so now I got to go back to my run manager. Can I undo? Yeah, there we go. 2.duplicate null. Okay. And now I'm going to need some Poisson. Legendary idea. Every time you realchemize this item, it gains plus X stats poison something. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. The problem right now is that legendary cards are not alchemizable by default. Like, legendary cards are immutable, meaning that they can't be altered in any way. They can't have enchantments added to them. They can't be upgraded. They can't be alchemized. So we'll see if that system stays. I don't know if it's going to stay. I don't know if it's going to stay, but yeah, we'll see. I should probably turn on. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I don't know if this is actually going to work. I might need to change some things. I don't think poison damage. Maybe it will work. Execution context. That is not going to work, I don't think. So the problem is these damage. The thing that's weird about poison is that it doesn't do damage immediately. So whenever poison damage is logged, it's like it's not associated with a specific card because it happens later on. Like there's a delay for it to actually do its damage. So yeah, I don't know if how that's going to work. But anyway, we'll worry about that in a second. I don't think, as long as it works in this case, I think we'll be okay. But I might need to rethink how that damage tracking works. Hello, Nanto, game dev, welcome, welcome. Crunch time. No, I think I could release the build as is for playtesting, and I think it's perfectly fine. So I think we're just doing some extra content and whatnot. Okay, so that's 3 poison damage. I should do 3 true damage. Hey, look at that. It's working. And that's 3 poison damage there again. Should do 3 true damage. Very nice. That's 3 poison damage. Should do 3 true damage. Yep. I want to see if this can... I guess it's never actually going to stack multiple poisons. I have the rat though. Maybe I could put the rat on my board. Oh, I can unlock cells while the combat is going. I guess that's okay. I guess that's not a problem. But we could put the rat here now. Just as an extra test. So this is going to do 3 poison as well. Okay, so that's 3 poison, 4. Is he going to do 4 true damage? 6 true damage. Hold on a second. 2 poison, 2 poison. Oh, 3, 4, 2, 6. We did 6 true damage. Okay, that is working. Cool. All right, there's a new legendary ability for everybody. We have the damage dealt provider. These could probably be merged, damage taken and damage dealt. Do I want to do that? Oh, this is damage dealt. It's fine for now, whatever. Add new legendary ability. Okay. Oh, did I commit the run manager? Dang it. That's all right. Anyway, do we want to do another legendary ability? Let's see. What other ideas do we have for legendary abilities here? Let's see. True damage. So we've got one that does poison. We've got one that's based on heal. We've got one that's... Maybe we could do a shielding one. Let me think. So what could be an interesting shielding legendary ability? What are legendary abilities? Is this a new thing? It's kind of new. When you get a legendary alchemy output, a random legendary ability gets added to it. So it's just to make the legendary outputs a little bit spicier. And then ultimately down the road, what I think I'd like to do is allow the player to like extract those legendary abilities and place them on different cards. Anything that would generate a shield deals damage instead. Yeah, let me think. Anything that deals damage, apply shield instead. Well, okay, so I have to be careful. Cards can't, like, cards are kind of like siloed. They really only work within their own functionality. They can't really reach into other cards and change their things, so it'd be kind of infeasible for a card to change, like if another card's going to apply shielding, it would be kind of infeasible for a different card on the board to act on it. And also that kind of breaks the pattern of the game. Like when a card executes, like that's its abilities. That's what it's going to do when it executes. To have an ability that's like not executing at the same time of the card, but is still affecting everything else is just a little bit confusing, I think. So I'm trying to keep all the cards like very siloed. Any ability that's on a card really only affects that card. And so I'm trying to stick within those boundaries. If I'm going to change something from a global perspective, that's more appropriately done as like an artifact or, well, I guess, yeah, just an artifact. So anything that's going to be like a global effect, like globally going to change something about like whenever abilities are done on the board, that would be an artifact. And then the cards are just narrowly focused on their own behavior, generally speaking. Are they supposed to serve a similar purpose as unique items in PoE? Things to pivot a build around? Yeah, I'm just trying to make them like... So the goal really is to give you such a tantalizingly awesome legendary ability that maybe you rethink your build a little bit It's to add that extra, because like legendary cards without legendary abilities they were still good, but if they didn't get the abilities that you exactly wanted, then the other cards in the output were kind of more appealing in a lot of ways. And I wanted to make the legendaries like very, very tempting to take. And so that's why I'm adding these like very powerful abilities onto them, is I want players to hesitate and be like, well, I was not expecting to get this legendary output. I kind of wanted this card over here, but this legendary ability is so good that I kind of want to take it so I can build around it. You know, it's just to add an extra little bit of, yeah, like temptation to the player, kind of derails their plans a little bit, because the legendaries, you don't know when they're going to happen unless you have the lead ingot. So you get a legendary and you're like, oh man, now I have to completely rethink what I was doing, you know? Smash the like button. Thank you. Good morning and namaste. Thank you. Monkey Software, welcome back. That idea speaks to my FOMO sensibilities when playing roguelikes. Yeah, and I like fostering that feeling of like there's so many decisions to make and all of the decisions are good decisions, and like you're just trying to figure out what the best one is, and like having that fear of like, well, I need to take this legendary because I think I could use it in the future. I think that's a really good tension to have. Giving the players lots of meaningful decisions to make all the time is what makes these games fun. So yeah, I usually ruin my runs picking rare stuff I have no use for. Yeah. So we could do something like, let's see. I mean, let's just do something simple. Var shield is equal to new composed ability. Var damage taken provider is equal to new damage taken provider. Damage type dot physical. Dynamic shield, damage taken provider shield. Apply preserve equal to damage taken since the last execution. There you go. It's like the same thing, except just slightly different. So now this is going to apply shielding equal to damage taken. So this is basically just going to negate and I don't have any scaling for any of these legendary abilities either. So these are just like unscalable, just really powerful abilities. Why are you saying that I should put a white space there? I don't understand that. What is, go away, go away. What is this? Go. Okay. Anyway, run manager. Let's see if this one works. We're gonna have to add some damage to the training dummy now. Ability builder dot damage 2. And then in my run manager, this is 3. Okay. So, apply preserve equal to damage taken since last execution. Here we go. See what happens. So that's 4. So I should see 4 shielding. Look at that. Sweet. There we go. Okay, so I think that's probably good. I think that's probably good for the legendary abilities. Of course, I'll add more, but this is a brand new feature since the last playtest, so I don't want to add a ton of content to it before I've gotten feedback on like how that system works and if people like it or not. But I just wanted to add a little bit more variety to the legendaries for the playtest. Just give the players some more opportunities to create some builds around those legendaries. Because it was just fire and healing before, but now there's a poison related one and a shield related one. So hopefully that works. Okay, anyway, so add new legendary ability. Okay, so that's done. Let's see. Get rid of 4-card and ability duplication. I kind of want to do that. That's just kind of like a random code cleanup that I want to do, but that could be an interesting little side quest here. Let's see. Duplicate internal. So yeah, this 4-card here. Set card type filter, conditional echo. So this conditional echo here. Card type. Okay, I'm gonna redo this conditional echo, I think. Okay. So let's go to where this conditional echo is used, which is just in the core vid here. Let's recreate this as a composed ability. Var composed equals new composed ability. Okay. So var query target provider is equal to query target provider. No. New query target provider. Okay. Query target provider dot query options dot query directions is equal to board inventory component query directions entire board. Okay, now the custom filter dot query options dot custom filter is equal to card dot get type. So we've got the card name. Okay, so we've got the, let's see, card provider. Do I not have like a card data provider? Okay, I guess we're going to need to do that. So let's create a new ability. Card data provider. Namespace game.data.ability. Public class card data provider extends base card ability. Okay, execution result. So execution context was state. What we're going to do is we will do this. Public public string display name get private set. Public type card type. Get private set. Okay. And then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the base card. Our base card is equal to execution context dot base card. We're going to say display name is equal to base card dot card definition resource dot display name. Card type is base card dot get type. So we're just going to store those pieces of data in there. Var card data provider is equal to new. I think I have. Do I have like a generic non-combat ability? New, I think I could do non-combat composed ability here. Return new ability, builder.ability configuration, abilities, new card data provider, description func empty. Okay. So I wrap that in a non-combat ability. Then I can put this here, card data provider. So this will be updated outside of normal combat, I think. And then in here, this custom filter, I could do card.getType is equal to card data provider.card type. Oh. I guess what I can do is elevate this out. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Because if this ability gets duplicated, oh, that's going to be a problem. Is there like a generic... Hold on a second. So I have like these things which are... Where is generic? Generic transient state, I transient state, generic value provider, I value provider. Non-combat composed ability is an I non-combat ability. Where is this being used? Get all combat executable composed abilities. Get all combat executable composed abilities. Get all flattened combat abilities. X is not non-combat ability. Okay, so maybe this will work. Where is this being used now? Find all references. Fudge. Reset non-combat modifiers. Get flattened non-combat abilities. Oh, no, no, no. This will work. This will work. This will work. Okay, 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 okay. So I should be able to do... I'm going to do something a little bit tricksy here. I'm going to do something a little bit tricksy. I'm getting lost now. Okay, let's do a new file. Generic non-combat ability. Okay, okay, okay. Copy this. Paste this. Generic non-combat ability. What? Is this right? Execute, action, execution, func, execution, context with state. Wait a minute. Is that right? Return execution func, execution context. That doesn't seem right to me. Can I use this in just, hold on a second. Can I use this in just a normal, does this need to be a composed ability, or can I just use this with a base? I think I can just make this an I non-combat ability, honestly. I don't think I need to make that a little bit more complicated than it is. Generic, non-combat ability, delete this. We don't need that. So this card data provider now, I could just do this. Okay, is this gonna work? I think that's right. All right, whatever. Hello, Jehar. Are you using the make custom tooltip function, or is it totally custom implementation for the hover logic? It is totally custom. Yeah, I'm not using any of the Godot built-in tooltip stuff. Generally speaking, like, so Godot exposes the tooltip stuff and the drag and drop stuff, but what you have to understand is that the Godot editor is made in the Godot engine. So a lot of the things like the tooltips and the drag and drop have been made primarily with the Godot editor in mind. And that makes them, at least in my experience, relatively unflexible or inflexible for stuff that you might want to do in a game, that it ends up just being easier to roll your own solution for that. trying to wrangle Godot to get like the tooltips to look and render properly and to detect the tooltip hover and to get the tooltip delay times correct, so that it's just much easier at some point just to say, hey, here's my tooltip scene with the exact, styling that I want. And you can also pass whatever data to your heart's content to that tooltip scene. And it's just a matter of showing it and having it follow the mouse every frame. It's like, that becomes easier at some point than trying to wrestle with the Godot like built-in functionality for those things. And that's just been my experience anyway. But yeah. So I don't know, hopefully that helps. Var conditional echo is equal to new conditional ability decorator. Decorated ability, new echo. The condition is query target provider dot get value is greater than 0. Then we can put the conditional echo here. And then what I should be able to do is I should be able to copy this conditional echo. What? All right, here we go. So I'm just moving this over. This is like an albatross around my neck. This was like my base composed ability has this 4-card argument, and that's entirely to support this conditional echo. But now I have other ways of supporting what I'm trying to support. So I should be able to just do this now. Echo if the board contains multiple, and then here I could do card data provider dot display name. Now the whole reason why this had to be convoluted like this, is because when this ability gets alchemized onto another card, it needs to update what the card name is as well as what the card type is. So that's what that duplicate was doing before. So this set card name and set card type filter, I needed to have that data. This was one of the earlier abilities, so I didn't have this whole like, I don't know what you call it, like, I didn't have this whole fluent ability system before. So, delete this. So that was like my workaround for getting the data that I needed to get. Delete. But now that I have this whole fluent ability system where I can just have like this card data provider, which will give me data about the current card that the ability is on, that ends up being a lot nicer, I think. So anyway. Hello, Snuff Bill. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. Always very generous. Thank you, thank you. Man, with all these donations today, I think I will go get some McDonald's. That sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. You know, it's a funny story actually. In my area, the McDonald's here, for some reason, the only thing on the menu is a double quarter pounder with cheese. It's very, very strange. Like I hear stories about how like there's these other things like McRibs and, you know, McChickens or whatever. Like I hear that from my friends who are around the country, but for me, for some reason, the double quarter pounder with cheese is literally the only thing on the menu. It's crazy. Anyway, Yummer train has hit the station. Yeah, that makes sense. The docs for it aren't great either, so probably roll my own too. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And we can get rid of this. Okay. Is this duplicate internal used anywhere? Oh, it is. Okay. That's fine. So we can get rid of this base card 4 card now. And then we gotta find everywhere where that breaks. Let's find everywhere where that breaks. Okay. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Oops. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. So I can get rid of these too. Sweet. Get rid of that. 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 I just realized though that I may have a problem. Conditional echo may not work with shop. This may be a problem. We'll see. We'll see. That's probably going to break the shop now that I think about it. But we will march forward anyway. I may need to fix that. Oops. That's not good. But anyway, let's build this and see what happens. And I probably want to put the Corvid on my board as well. Okay. So let's do project settings. Let's add the Corvid. And we'll see what happens. So I should be able to alchemize that ability onto a different card. So echo if the board contains multiple... Oops, it didn't work. Look at that. It didn't work. Multiple blank cards. Interesting. Uh-oh. Did I brick this? Am I going to have to spend all day fixing this now? This is an I non-combat ability. Is this ever being executed? Let's see. gd.print. gd.print. Executing card data provider. I have a feeling that's never being done, which means that I have a problem somewhere. Maybe I'm just not initially... Maybe if I move this... Oh, it's never executing that. Okay, so it's literally just never executing that ability. Okay. So this is an I non-combat ability, which is inside of a composed ability. I thought I looked at this. If I go to my base card, get all flattened non-combat abilities. Where is this being used? Apply tag modifications, apply non-tag combat abilities. Okay. Get all composed abilities. Okay. It's going to collect those composed abilities recursively. Then it's going to flatten all those. Oh, none. Oh, I see. Flatten composed abilities. I see. So the problem is this is just looking at the top level abilities or the composed abilities, I guess. So I can't just put an I non-combat ability in here and then expect it to work because this is wrapped in a composed ability. Now, if I were to wrap this in a non-combat ability, non-combat composed ability, that would work. This is getting all composed abilities and then it's filtering out any composed ability that is not a non-combat ability. Interesting. Okay, how am I going to fix this? Do I want to be able to support the execution of non-combat abilities that are nested under composed abilities? I don't think so. I think the problem though with... Actually, you know what? This might be fine. I can do var non-combat composed ability. It's equal to new non-combat composed ability. I think I can do this. Return new ability builder. I don't need a description. String.empty. I think I can do this. The thing that I was primarily worried about is if for some reason I ever wanted to duplicate this ability, it would share a reference. So the duplication of this ability would share a reference to this card data provider here. But I don't think that's ever the case. I don't think I'm ever reaching into a top level ability and like duplicating chunks or pieces of it. I think that if I'm duplicating abilities, I'm always duplicating like the top level ability and then like recursively duplicating that. Well, it's not a recursive duplication. It's just that when I duplicate this composed ability, it runs this, it calls this function, and this is like a constructor function. So it's creating new references to everything. It's basically rebuilding the entire ability when I call duplicate on it. So yeah, I don't think that there's ever going to be a situation where I would duplicate this interior ability and have it share a reference with the card data provider. I think it's just always going to be recreated. So I think it's okay. The reason I can't put this inside of here to protect against that is because I need to reference the card data provider in these places outside of here. So maybe that will work. I just think, yeah, I probably can't use non-combat abilities. Let's see. Echo if the board contains multiple Corvid cards. Look at that. So now I can, let's see. I don't even have two of the same card on the board. So I want to see if this actually works. So we'll get rid of the scythe. We'll add another skeleton warrior. Okay. Hello, Moneybags. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you as well. Okay, so we'll put this here and we'll take the Corvid and we'll see if we get the echo on the skeleton. We did not. Lame. Try it again. Lame. We'll get it. Echo if the board contains multiple skeleton warrior cards. Okay, look. So I got this. Now if I put this here, that should highlight it. Yeah, look at that. So that's the whole reason why I had to do this rigmarole, is because I need that to update based on the card that the ability's on. So echo if the board contains multiple skeleton warrior cards. So that's working, and it's highlighting that card, so it's definitely working. So that works. But I have to check the shop now. That's the thing that I'm worried about. So I'm gonna do that in a second, but first, let's see if that worked. Yeah, it's doing 5 damage twice. Perfect. Dealt 5 damage. Excellent. So that is working flawlessly. And I also was able to remove that. I'm trying to move away from anytime I duplicate an ability, I really don't want to have to pass arguments there, because then that's going to end up like every ability is going to need different arguments to duplicate, and that's going to become really unmanageable. So that's why I'm trying to move away. Like, duplicate should just be like, hey, duplicate this ability. I shouldn't need to pass any additional state into that. And that's why like this this way that I'm creating abilities here is really nice, because I basically define the entire ability in this function, and then the function just gets invoked to create brand new references of everything. So if I can keep everything interior to like the composed ability, it becomes a lot easier to just pass abilities around and duplicate them, and I don't need to worry about doing a bunch of wonky stuff to make sure all the data is getting to where it needs to be. So yeah, that is making me feel a lot better. Remove required, let's remove argument from duplicate. Excellent. But we have to test the shop now, because I think the shop might break. I think the shop might be broken. Shop container. Shop config. Chop config. No, shop configuration. Here we go. Create test. Create test card configuration card ID. Let's do card ID Corvid. Okay. So we go to the shop container now. And now we have to look at this. I bet you this is going to break. Yep. Echo if the board contains multiple blank cards. So the problem here now is that that ability for the Corvid is now, it's an ability that needs to be executed. However, the shop cards are not on the board. They're not on a board. So I'm going to need to do something hacky probably for this. So right now, the way that non-combat abilities are updated is that I do this update board state contingent abilities. And actually, where is this called? I probably should debounce this so it doesn't update multiple times. Because as of right now, as abilities are placed, as cards are placed on the board, it's just going to call this a bunch. But maybe I'll worry about that later. That's not necessarily a problem, it's just, it's doing a lot of unnecessary calls, I think. But anyway. So update board state contingent abilities is called whenever the board state changes or whenever the wanted level changes. And this basically just goes through all of the non-combat abilities on all of the cards and updates them. However, in the shop, the cards are not on a board. So that's kind of a problem. I may be able to do something hacky with this. I could create an invisible off-screen board that technically contains the cards, and that way they can properly have like their ability to update their stats and whatnot, but I can still display them on pedestals like this. That may be the way to go. I could create individual boards for each of these cards and just make them invisible. That could be another option. So that way they each are on a board, quote unquote, but the board is just not rendering so the player can't see it. But that would provide the necessary state that they need to be able to update their ability data. I think I actually kind of like that. I may end up creating a separate board for each card and just place the card on the board and then manipulate the card's position so that it's here on the pedestal and just hide the board. But from a data perspective, it will still be on a board. And so that way I can do things like update the board state contingent abilities. But since they're all on separate boards, they won't be interacting with each other. So I won't get like, you know, like if the Corvid, let's say that this scales based on adjacent minions or whatever, I don't want it to show that it's got a higher damage than it actually does. So I could create a separate board for each of these cards, hide the board, then I can do the board state updates, which will update all of these abilities, and that should be fine. That should be fine. So maybe we'll do that. That's kind of one of the negative things is like my cards, generally speaking, always have to be on a board, at least from a data perspective. Otherwise, they're just not going to work. And that's fine, you know, that's a limitation, that's part of the system, but we can definitely work around that in some way. So many people use C#, yeah, I love C#. Progress, nice. I use Godot personally, yeah, I love Godot, I love C#. I love LAMP. Anyway, so yeah, we'll, I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break. The secret boards are real. Yeah. So I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then when I come back, we will figure out how to get this to work. I actually think I probably don't even actually need an actual board visual. I think I can just use a board inventory component and call it good. Let me see. Oh, maybe not though. Maybe not. Yeah, this expects an entire board object, so I think I will have to use an entire board object, but that's okay. Like I said, I'll just make it invisible. Let's see, board. So the cards are placed here. I can just hide this and hide the board center. I guess it's fine. I can just hide this fade group component here. Okay. All right, well, we'll see how it goes. I think what I'll end up doing is in here, this shelf here, I'll probably end up instantiating a board here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about this. We'll play with it, but I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will figure out what we're doing. Hello, I'm back. I mean, your favorite niche e-celeb is back. Hello, V. Welcome back. Always good to see you. I wear glasses so I see sharp. Very cool, very cool. Very nice. Good joke. This might be a bit much, but having shop items on a board could also mean you can have a test this card out feature against the training dummies. Yeah, that's a good idea. I did consider briefly making the cards on just like, instead of having them on pedestals, have them on a board. The problem is I don't really know a good way of displaying the prices in that case. You know, unless I just showed the price on hover. But one of the reasons why the shop is structured this way is so that you can see all the prices without having to hover over everything, right? So instead of like, ooh, I want that card, and you hover over it and you find out, oh, I don't have enough money, you can just say, oh, I can't afford that right now, and be done, right? So from like from a player experience standpoint, I feel like I need to show all the prices always. And so putting all the cards on a board that are for sale, it would be a little bit trickier to show the prices for those things. So anyway, I mean, there's a possibility that this shop will change in the future, but for now, that is not the case. Okay, so one problem that I'm going to run into is that this card is going to be parented. Well, let's just do this. So we've got the board here. We're going to close that. We're going to make that invisible. We're going to go to my shelf here. We're going to do node private board. And this needs to be gameplay.board. Okay, so base card. So we've got the card configuration base card. So I'm going to need to change this. So I can do this. Actually, all this stuff is good. The first thing that I want to do though is I want to do, let's see, this.getBoardManager.registerBoard, new board manager.board registration, is quick move target equals false, board equals board. What are you doing, AI? What is going on here? Quick move priority is equal to 0. I actually don't know if I need to provide that, but that's all right. Board type. Do I need this board type? I don't need the board type. Okay. I don't need this quick move priority either. No, yes I do. Why do I need the quick move priority? Anyway, so we're registering that board, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this.getBoardManager.add board placement lock board. This.getBoardManager add drag. I think that's fine. I don't want to be able to drag the card either, so I'm going to have to add a drag lock to the card. Oh, I also want to do this. Our board manager is equal to this.getBoardManager. Board manager. Okay. Board.set is set as, oh, board.board inventory component set unbounded mode true. Starting dimensions vector 2.0, vector 2i.0. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is this card here, we're going to do board.board inventory component dot try place card at next available position base card square as true. I guess it doesn't really matter, but we'll place that card at the position. Then we're going to add the card to the tree, to the root. So this is gonna initially get added to this cards here, but we're gonna pull that out and we're gonna put it where? What did I just do? Okay, anyway, we're gonna put it here instead. So I think that's correct. Add clickable validator. So the other thing that I need to do is I need to add a drag lock for this board. So this shop.get card mouse events manager.add drag locks for board. I don't really like this method either. Add drag locks. Remove drag locks for board. So this is adding drag locks to all the cards. Where is this remove drag locks being called? Okay, so I'm gonna need to figure out what to do about this. I think this is gonna keep the card locked. This implies that it's locking the board, but it's actually adding a lock to each individual card, which is not ideal. But that's okay. Anyway, I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to test this properly without going into the full game, but we'll see. So we go to the shop container here. Is this going to error out? Oh yeah, I think this errored. Artifact manager instance is not valid. I don't think this is going to work. Let's see. Shop container, setup, test. Create currency manager, game debug, create board, test board manager. This. Maybe that will work. Let's see. Also still really like the pointing skelly. I might try something like that instead of a tutorial that requires clicking OK through. Yeah, I think the interactive tutorials are nice for sure. Though mine would be more of an anthropomorphic crystal, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy at all. I'm not, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. So how does your run translate a seed into nodes on the map and card packs and stuff? So the important thing, so like random number generation is deterministic. Computers are not fundamentally random. Like they can't generate randomness, true randomness. You know, obviously like you could be technical and pedantic and say like, well, technically this computer works on true random, but the consumer PCs that you're going to be playing games on don't have the ability really of getting truly random numbers. So the way that random number generation algorithms work is that you give them a starting point, which is a seed, and then they generate a sequence of numbers given a particular algorithm based on that seed. Now the output to a user looks random, but the thing is the random number generator is using an algorithm that has predictable results if you know what the starting point is. And so that's what a seed is. So a seed is basically just saying, here's your starting point, now generate numbers from that starting point. And if you keep all of the operations exactly the same order, so if you're calling every like RNG call, like rand f range, random integer, random so on and so forth, if everything happens in the same order, then you will get the same result from run to run given the same seed. So you can use that to basically generate your maps, right? So if I'm doing the exact same operations in the exact same order given the exact seed, then I will get the exact same result out. So the most important thing is you have to manage your RNG calls very carefully. So the way that I'm preventing my RNG from getting like, I don't know what you would call like dirty or whatever, like calling RNG out of order, is that I have stuff like the shop configuration here. Yeah. So I have the shop configuration, for example. So whenever I create a shop node, I create a configuration object along with it. And what I do is I actually generate new seeds for the separate, well, maybe this was not a good example. Let's do enchant configuration. This shop is a little bit more complicated. So whenever I create an enchant configuration, when I'm generating the map, let's see, seeded run here. So you see how I'm passing an enchant configuration. I am passing in a new instance of random number generator with a seed that is randomly generated. And what that does is that makes it so that this has its own little isolated random number generator now, which is still predictable because I'm passing in the same seed every time to it, right? So that means that as soon as I need to get an output from this enchant configuration, so when I call get enchants, this will actually use that random number generation to pick the options in the table, basically. However, this random number generator, here doesn't actually run until I call this method. So I'm guaranteed that the first time that I call this method, from run to run, as long as I'm using the same seed, this is always going to return the same 3 results every single time. So yeah, anyway, it all boils down to just managing your random number generator calls, because every time you call, the sort of position in the algorithm changes. So you just have to make sure to do everything in the same exact order every time. And the way that I manage the more complex ordering, like, so for example, a player may not visit an enchant. Let's say that a player on the same seed visits an enchant node in 3 steps, but it takes another player 6 steps to get there. Well, if I was using the same RNG object, that RNG may have been called out of order, right? Because then it gets called for the node that the second player is visiting before they reach the enchant node. And then that means that the enchant node that they visit is going to present different outputs than the outputs that were given to the first player. So what I do is I create a separate random number generator instance for that specific enchantment node, so that when both players get to the node, whether one player did it in 10 moves or another player did it in 3 moves, it's guaranteed that when both players visit that node, it's going to have the same output for both of them, because it has its own isolated RNG object associated with it. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying you just have to manage the order in which you call your RNG operations. I knew it, my rank games were skewed by the computer. Yeah, true. Hello, welcome back. Welcome. Roger Random, consume liquid beverage. I have liquid beverage, thank you. Yummy, liquid beverage. So anyway, back to testing this. I'm a little bit concerned that this isn't working. What happens if I get rid of, oh, am I ever calling set option on this? Set shop configuration. No, that's working. Create test card configuration. Okay. Shop. So what happens if I just get rid of this? I should see no cards if this is working, I think. Yeah, no cards. So that is definitely working. And if I actually go into my remote scene tree here and I look at my shelf, we have a board here, we should see a card. Yeah. So this card should have the skeleton on it. So that's fine. That's working. So why is it not doing the... So when I place this card at the next available position, this should be try place card, emit signal, board state updated. That should be working, because when I register the board up here, oh, you know what? I don't think that the board manager probably doesn't exist at this point. Shoot. So it's not going to work in the test scenario because I could move this. I could move this. I could move this here and put this into the set option. I hope this doesn't get called multiple times, but it shouldn't. So I think the board manager doesn't exist yet in the... Oh. Debugger 2. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Unable to cast Godot reference rec to clickable control. What did I do? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Did I run the wrong scene? Oh, maybe I ran the wrong scene. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So now the Corvid is updating its ability there, if you can see that. So even though this is even though this is on a board, the card data is on a board, but I've moved its visual position. So the problem now is that when it gets purchased, I think I need to remove the card from the board. So let's see. Purchase. If base card equals null, return. Old position, succeeded. Get player inventory board, board inventory component, try place card at no space in inventory. Okay. Add input lock, take blood. Board, I probably want to do board.clear board. Board inventory component dot clear. Board inventory component dot clear. So I don't want any cards to continue to exist on that board. That should work. I'll just put that here. I don't think it will hurt to keep the board just in the tree, because I don't think it doesn't have the ability to place cards. Okay. Anyway, the last thing that I want to do is I want to see what is my shop? Is my shop 2? I think shop is 2. Let's see. We'll see if it works in game now. What would a non-liquid beverage be? Jello? I don't know. It's a good question. Oh, I still have training dummy enabled. We're going to turn that off. Training dummy off. Usually swallow cubes of ice whole. Interesting. Non-liquidian states could be Jello, sure. Maybe a cornstarch and water. Not sure if it counts. Don't recommend drinking that. Just learned about glow effects in Godot. Very nice. Ooh, look at that. So let's see if this works. So I think, if I'm correct, I think I will not be able to drag this card after I purchase it. Yeah, I can't drag the card, so I need to reset the drag locks. I can't drag that card anymore. I really need to change the drag lock system. Change. I'm not going to do this in my to-do, but that's done. Change. Add drag locks for board to actually affect board and not the cards on the board. Fortunately, I think this is an easy fix. So when I purchase the card, I'm going to do board dot this dot get card mouse events manager dot remove drag locks for board, and we do that before. Oh no. Shoot. Remove drag locks for base card, I guess. Maybe I can just do that. I don't know, it's a little bit wonky, but I can definitely improve this. Anyway, we just want the card to be redraggable as soon as I purchase it. And I should also test to make sure that it doesn't mess up if I... Oops. No space in inventory, so that still works. Put this here. I should be able to drag this now, very nice. If I do this, that shouldn't do anything now anymore. Not enough blood, not enough blood. Sell this. Still not enough blood. Just trying to break it, that's all. And I do this and go here. Boom, 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 boom. Now if I exit and those boards get destroyed, I should still retain the card. Yeah. So one thing that's funny is that if I were not to clear the board right here, I think my card would get deleted. Any cards that I purchased would get deleted. So let's see. Let's see if that works. I've been bitten by that bug a couple of times. Well, it's not really a bug. It's intentional. So like whenever a board gets freed, it checks if there's any cards still on the board, and it also frees the cards. So that is definitely intentional, but I just have to remember to do it. So if I exit this, look at that. The card I just bought gets deleted. because the card, there's nothing in the game that prevents a card from theoretically existing on two boards at once. So I could have the data on one board and the data on another board. So I have to be very careful about like making sure that when a card is removed from one board, it's getting added to another board, etc. But anyway, that's just an interesting thing. Maybe, maybe not. But I've fixed that. So now any cards that have some board state contingent abilities that need to be executed, like the Corvid, they will have their abilities updated. So that is nice. We'll just test this. Boom. Cool. Alrighty then. And then if I exit, goodbye. Cool. Alrighty. That was a little bit easier of a fix than I thought it would be, but that's okay. Add board placement lock for board. Add drag locks for board. Remove drag locks, clear board. Okay, cool. All right. Use boards under the hood. Shops to allow non-combat mobility updates. Excellent. Game looks sick. Thank you, Jay Human. You're in luck. There's a playtest coming out very soon. The playtest is coming out tomorrow for Patreon members, and it will be available to Patreon members only for 1 week. And then the week after that, you will be able to play it if you decide not to support on Patreon, which is totally fine. So there will be a week of access where everyone will be able to play it. So I'm hoping to get some good feedback. Join the Discord. Make sure that you're in the Discord if you want to give me some feedback. I would very much appreciate that. I'm trying to make the game as good as possible. And I think it's getting better over time, but still need more iteration, still needs more time to iron out a lot of the systems. I'm trying very hard not to drop the ball on this one. Trying very hard not to drop the ball on this one, but we'll see. We don't want to make this a generational fumble. Hello, Mabs Games. Welcome back. Good to see you. Hello, Cecire. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad I thought of that bug. Add animation for reagents consumed. Okay, let's do something fun now. Let's do something fun. What do we want to do? What's fun? Is there even such thing as fun? Let's see. Swap poison and healing as an artifact. Interesting. Project weapon tag to minions. So these are artifact ideas. Oh, we already did the increased bleed duration. I wrote down some new abilities. Apply X, deal damage based on turn cooldown. Every time bleed is applied, gain 1 true damage. Reduce turn cooldown if X ability is executed. Interesting. I really like this idea of like an unassuming man that transforms into a werewolf. I think that's pretty cool. I actually do want to do this one though. Apply X damage, deal X damage based on turn cooldown. I think I want to do that one. I just need to figure out. So I was originally thinking that this could apply poison based on turn cooldown. Or something like that. And the idea behind that is like maybe it's a quick card. Maybe it's like a 4 turn cooldown card. Although that would be a little bit strong. But the idea is that I want to give the player some incentive to like put some abilities on cards with higher turn cooldowns. Because right now, you know, obviously you want to get as low of a turn cooldown as possible so that you're getting as many executions of the card as possible. But I would love to introduce some abilities that actually benefit from a higher turn cooldown. The problem is though that it would have to do more DPS at the longer cooldown, then it's a shorter cooldown still. So yeah, if it was a linear relationship, it actually wouldn't be stronger. Like if I said, oh, apply 1 damage for the turn cooldown, then it's like, it doesn't really make a difference if the turn cooldown is 3 or 10. It's a 1-to-1 relationship, right? So I might have to do something like, if the turn cooldown is greater than 10, then double the damage or something like that. Let's see. A Chimera. Do I dare try to do a Chimera card? Oh man. Plague Doctor? Could maybe do a Plague Doctor. Gargoyle. Caduceus. Wisp. A Ziggurat. Spike Collar. Stretch Table. Tombstone. Corpse Pile. Corpse Pile would be a good one. Is there even such a thing as fun? Yeah. Yeah. What anyone have any ideas? What art do you want me to see? So I'm thinking we do an ability that applies poison, let's say, based on the turn cooldown. Maybe the Corpse Pile would be a good one to do for that. Yeah, that might be a good one actually. I have no idea how I'm going to draw this, but I guess we'll just... What? Move to list in progress. Okay, so we'll try this out, and then we'll give it this ability. Move to list in progress. Okay, so we'll do that, but... Sorry about this. I'm going to have to take another quick break. I got to take care of something really quick. So give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back and we will continue on. We're going to draw a Corpse Pile and we're going to give it a brand new ability that has never been seen before. Okay, BRB. All right, sorry about that. I had to go take care of something, as I said, but I think we're good now. I think we're good. Artifact idea, corpse pie. Taking fatal damage consumes a pie and immediately starts necrosis on the enemy board. Corpse pie, oh my goodness. That's brutal. That's brutal. Anyway, let's see if we can draw a corpse pile. I'm assuming this is probably going to be... This is probably going to be like a 2x2 card, I guess. Let's see, 1x2, 2x1. We can make it a 2x1 potentially. That may be a little bit easier. How many 2x1 cards do we have? We only have 10 2x1 cards, whereas we have 15 2x2. So I wonder... Yeah, maybe a 2x1 is more appropriate. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Corpse pile, create. Okay. So now we go into Asaprite. We open this up. Assets, card, background. Nope, not background. Corpse pile. There we go. Load default palette. All right, let's see what we can do here. So obviously we're going to want something like a hand sticking out, and then maybe we'll have a leg sticking out over here. Might just be lazy here and copy and paste this and flip it. Okay, and then let's see. Yeah, we'll figure out what to do about all this in a second. Let me just get these shapes down. And then maybe we can do like a... We can have like a sword or something, or a dagger of some kind. Just sticking out here. A little bit weird. Oh, that works better. Take this. Okay, and then let's create some... We want to create some, like, mounds, I guess. Like this. Probably bring this down a little bit. We can create another... Like another hump there. And then we probably want to do like a bone or something. I don't know if that's going to read too much like a bone, but that's all right. That works. Yeah, something like that is fine. What else? I mean, we could put this hand, maybe if I take this foot and move this over and take this hand here, flip that vertical and put this over here, flip it horizontal now. We can kind of remove that. Okay. I think we're getting there. And then maybe I could do something like an arrow here. I don't really know if that's super readable there. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then probably we'll want... Well, we could just kind of start with this, I suppose. We'll start with this and then we'll see what happens. So, anyway. Just gonna start. Shading, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, that works. I don't know what to do about, like, these mounds necessarily, but we'll figure it out, I suppose. Obviously gonna need to add some more gore or something. Okay, the pants here, we can actually make this... What are we going to do with these pants? Okay, maybe this works. All right, so now the trick is, well, let's see. Not quite done here, I suppose. Not quite done here, I suppose. I don't know what to do about these, like, mounds and whatnot. So I think I'm just going to try to loosely fill this in and just see if I can get something that looks decent. Actually, this might work. This might work. We'll use the outlines a little bit carefully so that it looks like these things are actually coming out of the... So it looks like these things are actually coming out of the pile. Same thing for the hand here. Probably want to do something like that, I suppose. Okay. All right, so now it's just a matter of... So I've got all the, like... Yeah, I've got all the things, like, sticking out of the... Out of the pile, I think. I'm just going to modify this hand a little bit. Well, that doesn't look great. All right, anyway, maybe I'll play with that later. But now I just got to get like some of the shading down in here. So what I will do is I'll probably just create a new layer here, and I'll just see if I can get some like, I don't know, I need to make it look like it's got multiple layers of like piles in it, I think, and we'll have to see how that works. So like here, it might be a good idea to do something like this. And then here, kind of just... Okay, and then up in here, I'm gonna want to maybe do something like this. Then over here, do that. Okay. Okay, I think it's getting there. I'm crazy late and you're still going. Hello and good morning. Hello, Defected. Welcome back. This doesn't look like a moon. Yeah. What are we drawing? It's a corpse pile. It'll always be darkest where it touches something, so that's an art tip to keep in mind. These things create context shadows. That goes for anyone wanting to learn art. Yeah. I think it's... I think that's a good tip for sure. So I'm going to try to create some highlighting here. And then I think I can try to make it like a little bit shiny as well. If I just take this and I put that there. And then maybe I can do some extra... just extra dark pieces. It's probably all right. It's probably all right. Let's see. Might add just like one more bone somewhere. Maybe over here. That might be too hard, actually. almost wonder if I should make this all blue as well. And then here. I think that's probably all right. Yeah. I think that looks sufficiently corpse pile-ish. Yeah, I think that's fine. Hello, Ruined Star. It's game dev time. It is indeed. Honestly, the recent art I made for my game are just similar to primitive shapes. That can work. That can work. Primitive shapes can definitely work to make a game. I mean, that game, what, Thomas Was Alone or whatever, is just like primitive shapes. I'll figure out a channel to post some no game dev art showing you some Forza Motorsport skins I made out of primitive shapes several years ago. Ew, you like the corpse pile? In Discord, yeah. Can we get a Discord channel to post yummy food to? Is that a serious suggestion? No idea why I decided to do pixel art primitive shapes, probably because I consciously did it because it felt easier to draw. So it's pixel art primitive shapes. Interesting. Okay, let's merge this down. Do this. Corpse pile. Just fill all these in. So there's the corpse pile. Cool. All right, I think that turned out pretty decent, actually. Corpse pile, export. Alrighty, so this is the one where I want to do applied X damage based on turn cooldown. So I'm going to do this. Corpse pile. We're going to make this turn cooldown 13. Is enemy no? This can be a... What can this be? Alchemical ritual, maybe? Okay. All right, so corpse pile, and then we need to do the flavor text for it, so let me make a note of that first. Can't forget that. Okay, what else? So yeah, the ability we want to do. Corpse pile here. So we want to do based on turn cooldown. Do I have the provider for that? Let's see, turn cooldown. Self turn cooldown modification. Turn cooldown modifier plus equals magnitude. Where is this used? Get turn cooldown. Okay, so I can just call get turn cooldown. So I think I can do card data provider here. And what I can do is I can do public int turn cooldown, get private set. Turn cooldown is equal to base card dot get turn cooldown. Cool. All right, so that is in my card data provider. So I should be able to just go to my, oh, this is a non-combat ability though. Is that okay? Is that gonna break? Find all implementations. I don't know if that's gonna work. Is that gonna work? Turn cooldown. I think that's probably okay. Am I filtering out non-combat abilities in my base card? Base card. I really don't know. I don't think this needs to be a non-combat ability. Let me make sure that that works. Shop container. I don't know if I just broke the shop or not, but let's see. Food is serious. It is serious. Go if the board contains multiple Corbett cards. Okay, that works. Cannot access a disposed object Godot.window. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Anyway, turn cooldown. So that doesn't need to be there. Cool. So this will be fine because then I can do this. In my corpse pile, I can do var card data provider is equal to new card data provider. I can put that card data provider in here as an executable. Then I could do maybe we'll just do this. New poison. Constant base poison, we'll do 6. Var current poison is equal to base poison. Poison is equal to new poison, current poison. Var conditional ability is equal to new conditional ability decorator. We're going to do poison, and then we're going to do condition. The condition is card data provider dot turn cooldown is greater than or equal to 10. Return. Okay, and then we'll do conditional ability. Okay. Current poison is equal to ability scalars dot get poison scalar base poison tier. And then we're going to say poison dot set magnitude current poison dot set base magnitude current poison. Okay. Apply current poison if this card's turn cooldown is 10 or greater. Look at that. Interesting brand new ability. Project. Oh, left the yummers on the screen too long. Corpse pile. We need a cheeseburger channel if nothing else. Cheeseburger channel. This way you could show us your Macfish. Okay, all right. Hello, Orel Lazri. Love the series. Would you be able to create a playlist for all the Alcaborda streams? Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I haven't done any live streams that weren't Alcamortis themed until, since I've started doing it. So I think it should be relatively easy for me to go in and add that. Is that meaningfully easier than just going to the live tab of the channel and just looking through? I guess because they would be in proper order from start to finish. I don't know. That's a lot of content to watch. But yeah, I can take a look at that. I've got some stuff to do this afternoon with respect to getting the playtest ready, because I've got to set up all the Steam keys for distribution and whatnot. But what do you guys think? Does that corpse pile look decent? I think it looks pretty good. Honestly, I think it turned out decent, but let me know what you think. What do you guys think? Let's get rid of the generate test map so we can actually try this. Accept GMTK, but it was just 1 week. Oh, right. Okay. All right. So I'll have to remember that if I go and put those in a playlist. Yeah, I could definitely do that. We've got 100 viewers. Is this the first time I've broken 100 viewers? Now people are going to close the window. Now they're going to be like, oh, can't let him have that. So for all the new viewers here who may not be viewing normally, this game is Alcamortis. It's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler. It's available for wishlisting on Steam right now, so definitely wishlist it if you're curious, if you're interested. The Steam page also does a better job describing what the game is, better than I could do right now. So this should apply 6 poison. Boom. Okay, so now in the interest of testing this, I'm going to try to alchemize this ability onto something with a lower turn cooldown. And it didn't work. This has a 13 turn cooldown now. Okay, that was not the way that I wanted it to work, but let's just try it again. Let's do all of these just have... Okay, Acolyte, here we go. There we go. Apply 6 poison if this card's turn cooldown is 10 or greater. So this has a 9 turn cooldown now. So what I should be seeing is that it will no longer deal that poison damage. Yeah, so let's see. Skeleton Warrior did not apply the poison damage. Very cool. So I like that idea of having abilities that work only conditionally based on certain things. So that's going to be very interesting as an ability, I think. But do I want to give the corpse pile another ability? Do I want to give the corpse pile another ability? Bye. Yeah. I got your YouTube short for the first time on my feed. Glad I learned about the instance placeholder node. Awesome. Thank you, Ruin Star. Yeah, I think the shorts seem to do pretty well for some reason. I don't know why that is, but those micro tutorials seem to be very helpful. And they're certainly easier for me to produce than like a full tutorial video, so yeah. So I may just create more of those. The next video coming out is going to be another devlog for this game. So the plan is, the playtest is going live tomorrow for Patreon subscribers for the first week. So for all of you watching who are like, I'm not a Patreon subscriber, that's okay. You will be able to try the playtest as well. That will happen a week from tomorrow. So from Friday until the Friday after that will be Patreon only. And then the week after the Patreon only access period, everyone will get to try the game. So it's just a little bit extra bonus for Patreon members. But during that Patreon exclusive week, my focus is going to be creating a new devlog for this game. And I've got a number of topics. I've been trying to take a different approach to my devlogs rather than just being a laundry list of everything that's changed in the game. I've been trying to focus on like one particular interesting piece of the game. So I think the last devlog I focused on like how I approach map generation in Alcamortis. So let me know if there's anything that you in particular want to see me explain at a high level about the game. But I think the next devlog I'm going to do is like how I approach the sounds for the game. So describing my thought process, where I get my sounds, how I go through the sounds, how I layer the sounds if I need to do that, various other effects and filters that I apply to the sounds to get what I want. I could talk a little bit about the music too. What else? Yeah, so anyway, if you have any ideas what you want the devlog to cover, I think I'm going to cover sound, but if you have something else that you want, that you're interested in, I'm definitely open to changing my plan there. So yeah. Do we want to add another corpse pile ability? I think I've been typically adding like 2 abilities to cards that are like not 1 by 1. It's just that, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Do I have a heal based on poison yet? I think you should focus more on the content in a way that non-game devs could watch and understand. Well, the sound effects is the content, but I guess maybe you're talking about just the features of the game. Yeah, I could do that. Do you internalize a relationship management diagram between your various nodes script? Do you have a video going over that by any chance? I don't have any explicit diagrams, no. So I guess that's what it means by internalize. Do you have a video going over that by any chance? I don't. I think... Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. The problem with... I don't... How do I want to say this? Like a lot of the decisions that I make about how to structure this game, they're not coming from like an academic or theoretical place, like, oh, I can apply this pattern here. Mostly I'm just going off of vibes and experience. And so I tend to fall into just like, not fall into, but because of my experience being a prior software engineer, I kind of know like what works and what doesn't, what's going to be easily extendable and what's not going to be easily extendable. And so if I were to go and make a video about it, I wouldn't be able to talk in a way that's like super helpful, like from a theoretical standpoint, like this is why I did this, because a lot of the times I can't really articulate why I made certain decisions. It's like it's mostly just like a habit. It's mostly just experience, just kind of going off the vibe. So I guess I could look at my code and like try to like critically analyze it and say, why is this bad and why is this good? But I just don't know if that video would be super helpful, because I just don't, it's not like I'm making these conscious decisions in a lot of cases. I think it would make it easier for marketing. I would love to hear about your Steam experience, marketing, and information on the sales revenue growth, even if specifics are not provided. Yeah, I will do that when the game is launched for sure. Fake Watt Designs devlogs, for example, used to cover more dev-focused content, but then he changed it. Fascinating, thanks for explaining. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not, I don't know if it's going to be that helpful. Now, that's why I kind of wanted to like take a look at individual systems. So if I just say, here's how I approach doing sound effects, I think that could be interesting. And then I could say, here's how I approach doing my ability system, and I could just show. But if it's going to be for like a more non-dev audience, then I have to figure out how to do that. Yeah, trying to come up with a video that's appealing to the most number of people is very, very difficult, actually. I don't know how some of these YouTubers view it or do it. They just like create these videos that get views every single time, and it's like, I just don't know. They've unlocked some kind of secret sauce, and I have no idea what that is. I guess that could be my project, though. I could watch a bunch of popular devlogs and kind of figure out what the pattern is and see if I can emulate that. I guess that's what I'll have to do. Let's see. Watch videos from Watt Designs. I also think Blargus is another one. Every time his videos pop up in my feed, they have like 500,000 bajillion views. And they're also very well put together. I mean, the views are well deserved, but I just got to figure out what are the secrets? What are these secrets? Yes, yeah. Anyway, let's see if we want to add one more ability to this corpse pile. So we've got apply 6 poison if this card's turn cooldown is 10 or greater. What do we want to do beyond that? Can't remember if you read or responded to my comment in Discord where I asked Chalacade what he does. His shorts pop off and I'm always telling him he should make more. Yeah, I do remember you mentioning that and linking one of the videos. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was about like in-air animations or something like that. Animation canceling something. I would have already watched one of your devlog if it popped up on my feed, but that hasn't been the case so far. And yeah, that's the major problem. It's like, how do I make a video that's engaging enough that YouTube wants to put it in front of as many people as possible? You know, if the video's not even popping up in my subscribers feed, then there's something I'm doing wrong. So I'm gonna try very hard to make this next devlog pop off, and we'll see what happens. General advice about his process, about how he makes the shorts and the constraints he uses. Yeah, I remember that, but you linked a specific video that I watched. People giving likes helps a ton. Yeah. So like that video, everybody. Would appreciate that. Okay, do we want to just give this like a basic poison? So we want to make it apply poison always and then apply this additional poison if the card's turn cooldown is 10 or greater. What am I thinking? Like, it could heal as well. It could... We don't have a lot of abilities that reduce the turn cooldown of things. Corpse pile. We could do... let's do something interesting. Var turn cooldown reduction. Actually, I don't know if this is... Ability builder speed. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I could do ability builder dot speed. We'll do 100. Actually, let's do this. Let's just do 10. Config dot query options dot limit is equal to 1. Config dot query options dot order by random equals true. Config card tag filter is minion. Okay, so what that should do is that should give me a massive turn cooldown reduction for a minion. It might be adjacent still, but I might change that. Reduces remaining turns of one random allied minion card by 10. Speed. I'm going to change this config. Let's see, speed. Wait a minute. Where is this being used? Adjacent, edges. Query options dot query directions equals board inventory component. Query directions dot bottom edge. Let's do something interesting. So it will reduce the turn cooldown remaining of one random allied minion that's on the bottom edge of the board. So that's like a massive, like that's basically most minions are not going to have a turn cooldown that's greater than 10. So that's basically saying just like immediately execute and minion on the bottom edge of the board. So it's kind of like how the old Echo works. So if I take this and then I open this up, so this should say bottom edge like so, and then if I open this, that will highlight that. So now that's going to trigger the skeleton whenever it goes. I like that. That is cool. So now the skeleton is going to go, and then I think the skeleton's going to go again because this is a turn cooldown of 13. Oh no, the skeleton got paralyzed. But then the corpse pile triggers the skeleton right there. Stop paralyzing me. That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool. All right, I like that. I like that. Okay. Add corpse pile abilities. Perfect. That works great. I like that. I don't remember that. I mean, you could mention that your friend wasn't engaging with the alchemy system and then explain how you fixed it. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Maybe cover design thinking around alchemy. Okay. Since it's poison, maybe it increases the opponent's cooldown or something. That could have worked, yeah. I think the abilities I landed on are good, but increases opponent cooldown. Yeah, paralysis would have worked. Okay, that's done. And then we've got the corpse pile here. Yeah, so far, let's see how many. So far we have, how many cards is that? 53, is that 130 cards? So there's 130 cards in the game, and just about every card has, a unique ability, which is great. And I'm not out of ideas for abilities yet either. So I hope that by the time we get up to 300, even 400 cards, that every card having a slightly different ability or a unique ability is going to hopefully add tons and tons of value to the replayability of the game. So yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. That's what I like about this ability system though, is that it's incredibly flexible. There's all kinds of things that I can do with it, which is awesome. So yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, 130 cards already. 130 cards. I think a lot of these cards are reagents though, so that's kind of cheating, but yeah, anyway. That's going to be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. It's lunchtime for me. And then what I'll be doing this afternoon is I'll be getting everything ready for the launch, the playtest launch tomorrow. So yeah, I may be streaming later this afternoon if all that goes well. Otherwise, I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. It's possible that the playtest will be live for Patreon members by the time I start streaming tomorrow morning, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I was here when you only have 5 cards. Yeah, some people have been here for a while, you included. But yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed to the Patreon. But of course, I appreciate every level of support, even just going over to the Alchemortis Steam page and wishlisting it for me, liking the video, subscribing to the channel. All of that support is greatly appreciated. And again, you do not have to be a Patreon subscriber to get access to the playtest. The Patreon members will just get 1 week of early access starting tomorrow, and then the playtest will be available for anyone who wants to try it the week after that. So I just want to make sure that, at no point during Alchemortis development do you have to pay for anything until the game releases on Steam. Of course, you'll have to pay for the game when it releases there, unless you are a Patreon subscriber at the top tier. If you subscribe at the top tier for at least 1 month, that's like a pre-purchase of Alchemortis. So when the game launches, I'm going to send you a Steam key that you can redeem on Steam that gives you the full version of the game. So if you support on Patreon at that top level, you don't have to buy the game again. But for everyone else, there's no need to spend any money until the game comes out. I just want to make that perfectly clear. There's no FOMO here. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to play the playtest and all that stuff. So don't worry about it. But anyway, let's see. Like and subscribe. Yes, please. Catch you again soon. Like this stream, comment on the next video and like it too. Yes, thank you. Let's be great chatters, yeah. All right, take care, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and can't wait to share the playtest with you. All right, bye-bye.